I get all the time. It's like, well, do you compare yourself to your sister? I'm curious to know if, as a daughter, you ever compare yourself to me. I compare myself to my mother all the time. Like, just looking at, man, she's always put together. She's always super graceful, and that's just not my natural. That's not my natural gifting. I love my yoga pants with the hole in them. And every time I go to the store, I think,
and that's what
Lois wouldn't do this.
And that's what.
And I have this sweater that they want me to get rid of. Priscilla came up to me. We were on a trip.
And she came, like fluffy sweater.
Yes, the one I got you.
Yes. But let's be clear. Hold on.
Oh, that sweater.
We were all together when she bought the sweater several years ago, and it's still comfy. It's a comfy sweater.
Yes, it is.
The problem is where she sits down.
Yes.
You sit in the same place all the time. So on one hip and on the other hip, the threads are almost bare. Like you can basically see through her clothes too, because it's been rubbed so much. Because she wears it at home. She wears it out. She wears it everywhere. So we were traveling.
Sleep in it.
So I'm not talking about at home. We were traveling, y'all, and somebody put us in a kind of nice hotel. We were in a nice hotel, and I watched her from the back as she was checking in, registering in this beautiful lobby of this nice hotel, and there were the two hips worn bare on the sweater, and I just thought, keep it for home, but when you're packing to travel, you could just pick a different sweater.
She came up to me and tapped me on the shoulder and was like, Chrystal, you really need to retire this sweater. And I was like, leave me alone.
I just keep it, but you don't have to pack it for a trip.
I want it to be comfortable.
Yes.
I want it to be
but then we need to get you a new
sweater. How that gave up on me? You see how that gave up on me?
Do you see Mom's sweater right now? This is the most comfortable looking thing I've ever seen, and it does
you
not.
want it.
I do want it. I do want it.
Anyway,
but there's no holes in
Thank
it.
you.
So now you can see why I compare myself to my mother, who's always put together, to my sister, who's usually pretty put together, and then my daughter. You're put together for sure when you go out. For sure.
She's very
She's very but pregnancy, 8-9 months pregnant, that's you get a pass.
Yeah.
You get a pass. But in general, like, you take pride in yourself. So in any way, do y'all ever struggle with comparison with other women in your family? That's the question. And if so, what do you do about that?
Go ahead.
Yeah, I think I have. But for you, because I think we're on two opposite ends of the spectrum. I don't mean that in a bad way. Like, we're just on two opposite ends of the spectrum in
a lot of ways.
You're analytical and logical.
Yeah, and I just don't think about anything until it's done. Like, I'm a very
She's like me in that.
I'm like a very quick decision maker, and then afterwards, if it was the wrong decision, we'll figure out how to figure it out. Like, and I think
I make sure
lengthen the decision
before I cut
that's putting it
that this is exactly the right place.
Yes, but that's just one area, but I think we're different in a lot of ways. And I know that I've talked to Josh about like when Ellie gets older, I'm scared that I'm not going to be as intentional with her as you were, because that's just not my personality. I think you think through things,
that way.
But I choose to realize that in ways that maybe you didn't do the fun, creative mom
you
stuff.
Dress your daughter in cotton candy outfits for Halloween, and that you made, and I'm just looking like, how do you do that?
Yeah.
You're the put the special note and decorate the lunch bag kind of.
Yes, I am.
I'm the one going to make sure it's a totally balanced meal.
Exactly. Right. So I just choose to realize that. Just like it was great that I had that aspect of you, God gave me Ellie for a reason, and so whatever I have to give her is what she's going to need. And just to choose to believe that, okay, maybe the Lord's going to stretch me in certain areas to be more like you in a certain way, but that I have what I need for her and for Josh and for any future kids, and that it's okay that I'm not totally like you. That I'm like me for a reason.
Yeah.
Great answer.
That's very good. That's very good.
What about you, Priscilla?
Yeah, I think so. I think most women in some areas, struggle with comparing. So I feel like I could, I'm always constantly going, well, my older sister is kind of the same as Kariss. Where it's just like you're my older sister. So I kind of always wanted to be like you, and things just don't come as easily for me. I think some things that came easily for you, they didn't come easy for me. So I had to work twice as hard for the same. So I struggled a lot with just trying to be okay with, it sounds exactly like Kariss, just I'm bent this way, and it's okay that I'm not as good at the things that you're good at, and that comes easy to you. So that's just, you kind of have to continually like talk yourself off a little ledge and go, I'm okay like I am, and hopefully this will work out. And then also with my mom, you know, I struggled a lot with, to me, the ideal mom was going to stay at home completely.
Oh, okay.
So that's just the way it looked in my head.
You're saying because mom did that for so long.
Yes.
You went to work, but you were home a
later.
long time.
Yeah. And so for us, when Jerry started to feel like the Lord was steering us toward ministry more intentionally, because I was speaking, but I would go speak when someone invited me once every couple of months or something. It wasn't a ministry. It was just, I was just speaking every now and then when people would ask me. Of course that's ministry, but you get my point. There wasn't a big umbrella. So when Jerry started to feel like, you know, I think this is what the Lord wanted us to do, my battle was, but then motherhood is not going to look like me just at home baking bread all the time, which is what I wanted to do. And I still do that to an extent.
You make some good cinnamon rolls.
Yeah, those are pretty good.
It really is you who helped release me to motherhood as it was going to look for me. I remember you saying it's going to be unconventional, but just take your kids with you on the road. Y'all aren't home, but they're still with you, and that's the point. So that's what we did. We just homeschooled them and took them with us everywhere for a lot of years. And so I just think I had to revamp in my head that motherhood might not look exactly the same, but the same qualities of it can be there even if it doesn't fit in the same box.
And it's so funny as you're saying that. I have memories of you, and we're in this house, so we're kind of going down memory lane a little bit. But I have memories of you, and it was probably this way for a lot of reasons. But you always kind of had a, oh well, this is what I'm going to do. You know, and it would drive me nuts.
It drove mommy and daddy nuts.
Oh, it drove me nuts.
I was very nonchalant.
You were just very nonchalant. But I think a part of that was, correct me if I'm wrong, I think a part of that was you trying to be and learning to be okay with, well, this is just how I'm going to do it. It was a kind of a throwaway, but I do see how in your adult life that learned, practiced ability to kind of go, well, this is just the way I'm going to have to do it. It kind of has helped to settle you in to the place where you need to live. Like I even though it was kind of a throwaway, well, I can't do it like that. It just became, you're like, well, this is what I'm going to do, and that resolve, because that's what I think it is. Resolve has turned into adulthood. Like, you know, I'm comfortable in my own skin. Can't do that, so this is what I'm going to do. And it has really turned into a confidence, I think, in your own giftings and abilities.
Well, that's good. I didn't really think of it like that. Thanks. It's like, this is all I got.
I think the key thing as women of God is our priorities. The methodology is different for everyone.
That's great.
But the priorities, they don't change. So how in the world you accomplish it is between you and your family. But please, as women of God, don't change the priorities. Don't adjust the scriptures to fit where you feel you should be. Because life, I keep repeating it, is seasonal. What you can't do now, you'll be able to do. I'm sitting here today as a testimony.
And then we have to release
each other.
We have to release each other.
You know what? If that works for you, I'm not going to judge you because that's not the choice I've made. I'm just going to go, good. I hope that's great
the
for
mommy
you.
wars.
Oh,
Are you a stay-at-home mom? Are you a work-at-home mom? You go out of the home to work? Are your kids in school? Are they homeschooled? Okay, well, have your children learned this by this certain age? Well, when did you get married? What does your husband do? What is his role in the home? Are you the spiritual? I mean, there's all these questions about how we do things, and we need to be free to do things how we do them.
The scripture says who the Son has set free is free indeed. I wonder, then why are we living in chains? Because we're not releasing ourselves, or like you just said, releasing each other to be free.
I have a friend I sat down to dinner with, this is years ago now because we're very good friends, and she travels a lot for ministry, her and her husband. And they have a nanny that they take with them. Their children are a lot older now, but they travel together, have a nanny they take with them. And that was kind of foreign. We just didn't grow up with nannies and stuff like that. So that's just foreign.
Still, I feel funny. The
nanny word doesn't even come out of my mouth.
Mommy's helper.
Like it's a mommy's helper.
Which I love that. Every mommy needs a helper.
Like every wife needs a wife.
Sister, somebody to help you out. But I was having a conversation one day, and it was so interesting to hear her. This is years ago, but to hear her look at my perspective. Are you serious? The same how I was kind of looking at her like, really? You have somebody that travels with you and kind of helps at home and stuff? She was looking at me like, and you don't? She did grow up that way. And she said, you know, she said, we travel so much that if I did not have any help, my husband and I would never have time together. I would never be able to date him because sometimes they'll be out, and in the evening, her and her husband need to go have an actual date. She said, we would never have that. Our children would always be with us. We wouldn't be able to prioritize each other. I had never even considered that. That there, you know, that helps to actually prioritize something else.
Yeah. You were like, I got to do it all.
Yeah, I was like, I got to do every single thing, or I'm not being the best mom. And she's like, actually, I can be the best mom because it creates just a little bit of margin. If somebody else is just kind enough, if my friend's kind enough to come over and say, I will bring over dinner tonight, help you with the dishes. She's like, honestly, somebody else can make dinner and help with the dishes every now and then. I'm the only one that can date my wife. I'm the only one that can take my kids to do that activity or whatever, be with them for this thing. So she said, I don't understand how you're not, how you're not letting yourself.
And people hear that and they think, oh, well, money, I don't have money.
Yeah.
But I, a couple things. Number one, I have a friend who grew up on the mission field.
Yeah.
So coming here, she was just like, why don't y'all have help?
Yeah.
Because she was like on the mission field. We didn't have money. It was cultural.
It was cultural.
That a woman wasn't supposed to do it all by herself. So I have some friends who have
in church, it should kind of
right. Well, they decided we all have young kids and we're all exhausted.
Yeah.
So they call it the Babysitter Club. And when their kids were really little, you would rotate and you were always babysitting somebody's kids. So at least once a month you could plan to go to the doctor, get your hair done, whatever. When the kids got a little older, they would do it in the evening so that you could go out on a date with your husband and all these different things. And so I think we have to reframe the way we look at how we help each other.
Yes.
Because ultimately we don't have to do it all by ourselves.
And what if you lived in semi-close community and one of the moms that's making dinner on the Monday nights just makes enough spaghetti for 3 families, and instead of going through Chick-fil-A on your way home, you go through this woman's house and get your serving of spaghetti, but then you do the same for her on Wednesday nights. You know what I'm saying? You know, if you live within 5 minutes, 10 minutes of each other. I just think little choices like that with friends in your church and stuff, you don't have to pay each other. The payment is it releases you to do other things. I keep pointing to you, but like your spouse, that's a priority to you.
We hear Ellie screaming.
Our niece is like, it's enough. But I just think there are options like that we don't really think of.
And the churches still have Mother's Day out?
Some do.
Because that's what I was introduced to when we were busy with the ministry. You know, the church was growing. Your dad came home one day, he was driving to seminary, and he said, Lois, I just passed a church that I have a whole lot of confidence in, that I think we could take the children to 1 day a week. I was like, no. And then he said, let's just try it. And when he tried it, I got a chance to go do my hair, go to the doctor's
you were like, freedom!
And so there are options out there. But I like your option of the neighborhood cooking. It's just ways to do it.
So, Chrystal, you start.
You start what?
Cooking. I'll come to your house and get my share.
Something Josh and I do that we may have to alter after 2 kids, but once a week we give each other one night off.
Oh yeah.
So he'll watch Ellie.
Josh will end up in my house.
No, he's like, I have Ellie. What are y'all doing? I was spending Kariss' night off with y'all.
And that may change as we have more kids, maybe like to once a month instead of once a week. Just as we figure it out. But it's been really working because he has a night off
and he knows
that I'm not expecting him to be at home. I know that he's not going to be at home, so I plan for that. That I'm going to be here with Ellie by myself. And it's great because he can go be with friends. He can do whatever he wants. I don't care. And then the same thing for me. I get one night a week that I know I don't have to think about Ellie. I can go hang out with a friend. I can go to sleep at 5 o'clock. Like, it's just really cool. And not that, obviously we hope for a community of women who we can do that with and for, but also your husband. Like, realizing the fact that he lives with you and he's there.
And he's their dad.
And he's their dad.
Babysitter options.
Absolutely. So that's been really good for us, like, just to give each other time.
Yeah, well, because we did that with Daddy in the middle of his busy life building a church. Thank the Lord we live in the neighborhood of the church. But you guys have seen that. He would say, Lois, get ready, I'm coming home. Get ready to come home for you to do whatever you want to do. And we'd literally pass each other in the doorway.
I'm out. See you later.
I just went to the mall and just walked around.
Yeah.
I didn't have any funds to buy anything. I think, of course, I might have gotten a soda or something. But it was just knowing that he was coming home
and you
to
could
take care of business. And we passed each other. He would say, bye. Hi, how you doing? Bye. I said, there you are.
That feeling is so amazing when the feeling is, it's just lifted off of your shoulders and you can just go walk or just get some fresh air.
We would do that. It would be like, I would put the kids to bed. But then Jesse was home. And then I'd go to Target. Just walk around with some popcorn. Popcorn is
has the best.
They have the best popcorn. Really and truly they do.
So there's lots of creative ways to do it.
Lots of creative ways.
I was just going to say, just to not leave the single women out because they're going to have the option of a spouse to help them.
Sure.
It's that that option again of the church. Don't forget that the church is supposed to be your family, and those women that are your friends in church, and you see them every now and then, both of y'all nod and wave.
Right. Yes. Take the initiative.
Literally take the initiative and say, hey,
can we help each other out?
Can we help each other?
Yeah, I mean, that's the whole idea of the sister circle, is that we all have circles of girls somewhere. They may be at church, maybe in our neighborhood, maybe at work.
Right.
So how do you need help, support, reading a book, I want to run? Like, what are the things that would help you in your life, and connecting with the women in your life to help you do that?